Good everyone, thanks for joining me in this video. I am making this video in the late evening of Friday, the 13th day of June 2025. So the Department of State Service witness testifies in court against Nnamdi Kanu, claiming that Nnamdi Kanu's brokers has caused economic paralysis in the southeast. I was supposed to do this video before now, but because of time factor, though I mentioned this in my previous video, but I did not discuss it, in depth. Now, I'm not a lawyer. This is a disclaimer. I'm not a judge. Most of the things I said here is from my own opinion, and I am not responsible for what you understand. So don't misunderstand me. Now, what the DSS want to drag out of this issue is all about Nnamdi Kanu is making or made a brokers that led people to sit at home. But the issue here is laughable. So laughable, like the issue of radio equipment. Just like importing radio equipment is not a terrorism. It could be, you can call it a crime. Maybe you invade custom duty, all those things, but it's not a terrorism act. But it's part of the things they filed against Nnamdi Kanu as a terrorism act. Now, the call for civil disobedience is enshrined in every country's constitution unless maybe the country is practicing dictatorship or autocratic regime. Even most military regimes allow civil disobedience, like Burkina Faso. Now, if the Department of State Service is trying to narrow down to the issue of sit at home that it led a lot of businesses to shut down, yes, issue of sit at home is a voluntary something. The issue of sit at home is a civil disobedience. And here we go. Was it not military men? I have these videos. I have the proofs. Was it not military men and policemen that were caught, enforcing sit at home? I think, the councils to Nnamdi Kanu should be very wise about all these things because, in fact, almost everything that these people are just bringing against Nnamdi Kanu is what is in the public domain. People already know who are the people who are causing havoc about this. There is nothing wrong if people come out to protest or people started sit. If you want to sit at home for 2 years, it's not a crime. It's a civil disobedience. Then, my friend was going to Abia State one Monday, and police met him on the road. Police was telling him, "Don't you know that today is sit at home? Where are you going? Can't you sit in your house?" I said, "What sort of rubbish is that?" So police duty now is to enforce sit at home in the southeast. And later they will say it is ipob that is enforcing sit at home. Of course, if you want to go out, do what you want to do, you do it at your own will, at your own risk, at your own, protection. But I so much believe that protest, civil disobedience, all these things are supposed not to, be a crime. And that is what the DSS is bringing forth, before the public that Nnamdi Kanu's brokers caused, economic hardship in the southeast. Now, this is the article that, reported this. It reads that the Department of State Service witness testifies in court claims Nnamdi Kanu's brokers caused economic paralysis in the southeast. And this is what it reads, that the Department of State Service DSS has told the Federal High Court in Abuja that the brokers made by Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra ipob, allegedly contributed to the economic paralysis of the Nigerian southeast region. So how are you going to prove that it was the brokers that caused economic paralysis in the southeast? Did Nnamdi Kanu, personally come or went to people's homes to tell them not to come out? All right, the article continues that the DSS operative made the claim while testifying as the fourth prosecution witness before Justice James Omotosho on Friday, that is today. Led in evidence by Prosecution Counsel Chief Adegboyaga Awomodo San, the witness claimed Kanu's inflammatory brokers incited the enforcement of IPOB's sit-at-home orders by its militant wing, the Eastern Security Network (ESN). From my investigation, he said, the defendants' brokers directly contributed to economic paralysis in the southeast as they fueled the enforcement of IPOB's sit-at-home order, the operative said. According to the operative, Kanu's allegedly smuggled a radio transmitter into Nigeria, concealing it within household item to avoid detection by the Nigerian Customs Service. Now, this is another place that I think during the cross-examination by Nnamdi Kanu's with Lego team, that they have a lot of things to say. Radio equipment, was it not supposed to be a household, appliance or appliances? I don't really know, but in my house, I have radio equipment. Radio equipment could be transmitter, it could be microphone, like these ones. It could be laptop. If you say transmitting equipment, is portable. It is what you can even carry in your little traveling bag and move it up. So what they are saying is that Nnamdi Kanu adds the radio transmitter into household equipment, and he said that this container is household equipment. And the DSS checked it, and they saw the radio equipment inside. For me, radio equipment is still a household stops. That is what I think. Let me know what you think. And the article continues that, the transmitter, which was purportedly hidden in the residence of Benjamin Madobogun in Ihia, Anambra State, was said to be used by Kanu to broadcast propaganda and incite violence against the federal government. And this is what they said. They said, we obtained a search warrant, search Benjamin's residence, and recovered the transmitter along with other items, including firearms, cartridges, Biafra currency, and Indian hemp. The witness added. A certified true copy of search warrant issued by the Ihanda Chief Magistrate Court on October 28, 2025 was admitted into evidence. Also tendered was a video showing Kanu inspecting the transmitter, where he allegedly referred to the device as a game changer and a nuclear weapon for Biafra. Thank God that it is the radio equipment he called the nuclear weapon of Biafra. So if someone could call a mere radio equipment the nuclear weapon of Biafra, it's an indication that his struggle has nothing to do with armed struggle or armed conflict. If radio broadcasting equipment is the nuclear weapon for Biafra, it means that what he's doing ought not to be termed as terrorism, talk less of treason. So let's continue with the article. In the footage, Kanu was seen threatening violence against Southeast residents who defy ipob sit-at-home directive scheduled for May 31st, 2021. The court also accepted the evidence, a flash drive containing 18 video clips and 16 radio broadcasts attributed to the ipob leader. Additionally, the prosecution presented the statement of Benjamin Madobogo, in which he confirmed that no custom documentation was provided for the transmitter. In a controversial development, the court admitted a Vanguard newspaper publication where an alleged ESM member claimed that Kanu had ordered the collection of 2,000 human hairs for burial rites, although only 30 were reportedly obtained. The defense, led by Dr. Onyechi Ekpa, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, objected to the admissibility of the article, but it was admitted alongside a certificate of compliance. So the article continues, but let me stop to explain this place very well. Now, the next court date, I think it is the inspection of the radio equipment, and the following day will be the cross-examination, of all this evidence presented. This thing is going to be a little bit longer that we think, because this has to do with the prosecution presenting evidence. The defense have to defend against the evidence presented by the prosecution team. So I think this thing is going to be even longer than we think or expected. So the bone of contention in today's court is that about the radio equipment they said they brought. They said that the container Nnamdi Kanu searched, that the radio equipment, and Nnamdi Kanu said this is the nuclear weapon of Biafra. And they said the other person, his name is Benjamin, that they saw cartridges and pump action with him, but not with Nnamdi Kanu. And what else? And also, they said Nnamdi Kanu's broadcast caused a lot of economic wreck in the southeast. And also, the Vanguard newspaper that said that quoted one Benjamin that said Nnamdi Kanu demanded 2,000 hairs for burial right. That is Ogbono people now. That Nnamdi Kanu demanded 2,000 hairs for burial right. and only 30 people, were, beheaded. I think the person who came with such, evidence in court should be able to provide the 30 heads that were presented, should be able to provide someone who says so, and so on and so forth. Anyway, what do I know? As I said, if I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a judge, but if you claim that it is true that 30 people were killed, you need to provide, where 30 people were killed, the names of those people who were killed. It's just like from the beginning when they said that Nnamdi Kanu ordered, the instigation of the NSAS protest that led buses to be set ablaze, BRT buses in Lagos, and the defense team asked them, Kanu Agabi asked, okay, no problem. What you said, bring the plate number of the buses. Let's start from there. They said they don't know. They don't have the plate number. So the issue of a court issue, all this court case is very complicated.